how do you react when things go wrong? So it's one of the inevitable, unavoidable aspects of PhD research that things will go wrong pretty much constantly. And that's just a natural consequence of trying to do something new. And if nothing goes wrong throughout your PhD and everything goes perfectly to plan, it's probably a sign that you're not pushing hard enough. So things will go wrong, but how you react to that is crucial. And I think it's possibly even more important than how you plan and try to organize things. And it's a key factor in determining how stressed you get throughout the course of your PhD. So in my own PhD, I developed this really bad habit of whenever something went wrong in the lab, I would find an excuse to check email, which is always really easily justifiable because there might be something important, but it's a gateway into online procrastination. So while the email is loading, you open another tab and open Facebook or news headlines or whatever else. And you can very easily lose a huge amount of time just from that initial decision to check email. And you get kind of stuck in this loop because email and Facebook and news headlines, they're things that constantly update. So there's always something new. So it's a really easy trap to fall into. But then it means that at the time when you need to be at your best, at your most creative in order to solve whatever problem has come up, you're at your most distracted and disengaged. And I certainly used the internet as kind of an anesthetic against the pain and the stress of the PhD and things going wrong. So one of the key changes that I made in my own research was changing the way I reacted when things went wrong in the lab. And instead of checking email, I just stepped away. I got out of the lab and started taking walks around the campus just to give myself a little bit of time to think about the problem. This is really important because it stops you from just rushing into either the habitual habit of checking email or just working on something else. So, you might, instead of checking email and procrastinating, think, well, I have to stay productive. I have to keep doing something. So, just work on something else. But that's still an avoidance mechanism. It's avoiding the problem and it's still going to be there. And, what do you do when something goes wrong in the new thing? Do you work on something else? And then something else goes wrong, so you work on something else. So you end up with, 10 different things that you're doing, but nothing actually gets finished or solved because you switch to something else every time there's a problem. So think about how you react when you face a problem. Do you avoid it with email? Do you rush into the first thing that comes to mind? Or do you take some time to think? Think maybe beyond the first option. So you can think of something that's not obvious. You can think of a creative solution. And that way, you're much more likely to actually find a good way forward. And, once you solve the problem, it feels really good. And you feel a sense of achievement instead of just building up all these problems and all of this stress. So think about how you react when things go wrong and whether it's the best way or not.